This morning, I don't want you to whisper. I need you to stand in authority. Because what has been fighting you in secret is about to be confronted in the open. What has been speaking against you, working against you, plotting behind closed doors is about to be silenced by the power of God's word. You are not surrounded by enemies. You are surrounded by his angelic reinforcement. And today, Psalm 35 is not just a scripture, it is your divine legal defense. Some of you have been attacked without cause, misunderstood, misjudged, and misrepresented. You tried to stay quiet. You tried to be patient. You tried to keep the peace. But heaven says this is the season where God steps in as your advocate. You will not have to fight this battle in your own strength. God is rising to defend you, to expose what was hidden, and to bring justice where there has been delay. I need you to hear this clearly. Your silence is being replaced with divine vindication. Every word spoken against you is losing its power. Every plan formed against you is collapsing in the spirit. Every door that was shut by opposition is about to open by divine order. This is not revenge. This is restoration. This is not retaliation. This is righteousness in motion. Now, if you are ready to see God move on your behalf, I want you to take a step of faith right now. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayer. Do not just watch, engage. Type SAMN in the comments as a prophetic agreement, and then write as one thing you're believing God for today. Let your faith speak before your breakthrough arrives. Because this is your moment to shift from defense to dominion, from being attacked to being appointed, from being surrounded by opposition to being surrounded by favor. As you release Psalm 35 today, expect God to rise, your enemies to be scattered, and your life to move forward in peace, power, and victory starting now. God is your defender when you are attacked without cause, and this truth settles like a deep breath in the soul when everything around you has felt loud, unfair, and heavy. There are moments when you look back at what has happened to you, and you know in your heart that you did not deserve the resistance, the misunderstanding, the accusations, or the silent opposition that rose against you. You were simply trying to live, to grow, to do what was right, and yet you found yourself standing in the middle of a battle you never asked for. In those moments, the human heart longs for explanation, for fairness, for some sense of justice that makes the pain feel meaningful. But there is a deeper reassurance that comes when you realize you do not have to fight for your own name, your own image, or your own survival, because there is a presence that sees every detail, understands every motive, and knows how to defend you in ways that are beyond your strength. When you are attacked without cause, it often feels confusing. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering where things went wrong. You question yourself, asking if you made a mistake, if you said the wrong thing, if you somehow invited the hostility. This inner questioning can quietly erode your peace because the mind tries to find a reason even when there is none. But there are times when the opposition has nothing to do with your actions and everything to do with what you carry. Light often provokes discomfort in those who are not ready to see it. Integrity can feel threatening to those who rely on deception. Growth can unsettle those who are afraid of change. And without realizing it, you become a mirror that reflects what others would rather not face. In these moments, the instinct is to defend yourself, to explain, to justify, to prove your innocence. You want to make your voice louder than the voices that are speaking against you. You want to protect your reputation, your relationships, your future. But there is a quiet wisdom in choosing not to enter every argument, not to fight every battle, not to respond to every accusation. There is a strength in stepping back and allowing God to stand in front of you. When you release the need to defend yourself, you create space for divine intervention. You allow a higher perspective to move, one that is not limited by emotion or impulse. God's defense is not loud, but it is thorough. It does not rush, but it is precise. It moves through circumstances, through people, through time, aligning things in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. While you may feel forgotten, unseen, or unprotected, there is a quiet activity unfolding on your behalf. Details are being arranged. Conversations are being redirected. Hearts are being influenced. Paths are being cleared. What looks like delay is often preparation. What feels like silence is often strategy. And in that space, you are being held even when you cannot feel it. When you trust God as your defender, you are not denying the pain of what has happened. You are not pretending that the words did not hurt or that the situation did not matter. You are simply choosing to believe that there is a justice greater than your own. a wisdom higher than your understanding, a protection stronger than your fear. This trust allows your heart to rest, even when the outcome is not yet visible. It anchors you in a peace that does not depend on circumstances. It reminds you that you are not alone in this story. There is something deeply healing about knowing you do not have to carry the weight of proving your worth. You do not have to convince everyone to see you clearly. You do not have to fight for every door to open. When God is your defender, your value is already established, your path is already known, and your future is already being guided. This does not mean life becomes effortless, but it means you are no longer carrying the burden alone. You are supported by a presence that understands you fully and still chooses to stand with you. Over time, you may notice a shift within yourself. The anger that once burned begins to soften. The need for validation begins to fade. The fear of being misunderstood loses its grip. You begin to feel lighter, freer, more at ease. Not because everything around you has changed, but because something within you has settled. You realize that you are safe even in uncertainty. You are guided even in confusion. You are protected even in vulnerability. As you walk forward, you may still encounter moments of resistance. You may still face misunderstanding or opposition. But now, you carry a deeper awareness. You know where to place your trust. You know where your strength comes from. You know that you do not have to react to every challenge because you are not fighting alone. You are moving with a quiet confidence, a gentle assurance that whatever comes your way, you are not facing it by yourself. This understanding invites you to live with openness instead of defensiveness, with compassion instead of bitterness, with hope instead of fear. It allows you to release what you cannot control and focus on what you can nurture. It encourages you to stay true to yourself, even when others misunderstand you. It reminds you that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, guided by a wisdom that sees the whole picture. In the stillness of this trust, you begin to notice small moments of grace. A word of encouragement arrives at just the right time. An opportunity opens unexpectedly. A relationship shifts in a positive way. These moments are not random. They are gentle reminders that you are being cared for, that you are being led, that you are being defended in ways that go beyond what you can see. And as you continue to rest in this truth, your heart finds a new rhythm. You move through your days with greater ease. You approach challenges with a calmer spirit. You face uncertainty with a steadier mind. You allow yourself to hope again, to dream again, to trust again. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know you are not walking alone and you are being guided by a presence that is faithful, patient, and deeply committed to your well-being. Divine justice silences every voice speaking against you, and this truth carries a quiet strength that settles the heart when the noise around you feels overwhelming. There are seasons when it seems as though words have become weapons, when whispers travel faster than truth, when accusations feel heavier than facts. In those moments, the soul longs for clarity, for fairness, for a sense that what is hidden will be revealed. Yet beyond the reach of human arguments, there is a deeper order at work, one that does not rush to defend itself, but moves with intention, restoring balance where there has been distortion. When voices rise against you, it is easy to internalize their tone, to let their words shape how you see yourself. Doubt begins to creep in, and the heart starts to question its own worth, its own direction. But divine justice does not echo the noise of the world. It does not amplify accusation or magnify fear. It moves quietly, steadily, correcting what is out of alignment. It knows the truth of who you are, and it holds that truth securely, regardless of how others choose to see you. There is a gentle reassurance in knowing that you are not responsible for correcting every misunderstanding or confronting every false narrative. Some things are not meant to be resolved by explanation alone. Some situations require a higher perspective, one that sees the full story, not just a single moment. Divine justice carries that perspective. It understands the motives behind actions, the intentions behind words, and the context behind circumstances. It weighs everything with care and responds with wisdom. As you learn to trust this process, something within you begins to soften. The tension you have been holding in your shoulders, in your breath, in your thoughts slowly releases. You realize that you do not need to defend your name or protect your image at every turn. You are allowed to rest even when the outcome is not yet visible. This rest is not resignation, it is confidence in a system greater than your own understanding. Divine justice also restores your sense of peace. It quiets the inner dialogue that replays conversations and imagines worst-case scenarios. It replaces anxiety with a calm awareness that you are seen and valued. You begin to notice that the words that once hurt you no longer carry the same weight. They pass through without leaving a mark because your identity is no longer anchored to them. You are anchored to something deeper, something unchanging. There is a subtle transformation that occurs when you stop trying to control how others perceive you. You become freer, lighter, more present. You no longer measure your worth by approval or rejection. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. This freedom allows you to move through life with greater authenticity, trusting that what is meant for you will not be taken away by misunderstanding. Divine justice works in ways that often surprise us. It may shift a conversation, change a circumstance, or reveal a truth at just the right moment. It may bring clarity through unexpected channels, opening doors that seemed closed or closing doors that were leading you away from your purpose. These changes may feel small at first, but they carry a quiet power, gently guiding you back into alignment. As you remain open to this process, you may notice a renewed sense of hope. The future begins to feel less uncertain, less threatening. You start to believe that even the most challenging experiences are part of a larger unfolding. This belief does not erase pain, but it gives it context. It reminds you that nothing is wasted, that every moment carries the potential for growth and renewal. You may still hear voices that challenge you, but now they no longer define you. They become background noise, fading as you focus on what is true and meaningful. You learn to listen to the still, steady voice within that speaks of peace, resilience, and possibility. This inner voice becomes your guide, reminding you of who you are and where you are going. In this space of trust, you find the courage to move forward without fear. You take steps toward your dreams, even when the path feels uncertain. You open your heart to new connections, even when past experiences have made you cautious. You choose to believe in yourself, even when others have doubted you. And in these choices, divine justice continues to work, shaping a life that reflects balance, integrity, and quiet strength. As you walk this path, you begin to see that silence is not absence, and stillness is not inactivity. There is a gentle movement happening beneath the surface, guiding you, protecting you, and aligning you with what is meant for you. And as you continue to trust, you carry with you a deep, steady assurance that no voice raised against you has the final word, because you are held in a justice that restores, renews, and leads you forward with peace and grace. What was done in secret will be exposed by God's light. And this truth carries a gentle yet powerful reassurance for the heart that has felt confused, betrayed, or overlooked. There are moments in life when you sense that something is not right, when the atmosphere around you feels heavy, when trust has been quietly broken, but never openly acknowledged. You may not have proof, you may not have words for what you feel, but your spirit knows when something has been hidden. In those moments, the weight of uncertainty can feel more exhausting than the truth itself, because the mind longs for clarity, for resolution, for a sense that what is concealed will eventually come into the open. Living with unanswered questions can slowly drain your peace. You replay conversations, examine details, and wonder what lies beneath the surface. You may question your own perception, wondering if you are imagining things or being overly sensitive. But there is a wisdom that exists beyond human understanding, a light that sees through every shadow and recognizes every hidden intention. This light does not rush, and it does not accuse, but it reveals in its own time, bringing clarity where there was confusion and understanding where there was doubt. When something is hidden, it often thrives on silence and fear. It grows stronger when it is left unspoken, when it remains in the dark. But light has a natural way of dissolving darkness. It does not argue with it or struggle against it. It simply shines, and in doing so, it changes the atmosphere. When truth is revealed, it brings both release and healing. It allows you to see clearly, to understand what was once confusing, and to move forward without the weight of uncertainty. The process of revelation is often gentle. It may come through a quiet realization, a conversation, or a shift in circumstances. It may arrive slowly, piece by piece, until the full picture becomes clear. This gradual unveiling protects your heart, allowing you to receive the truth in a way that you can hold. It gives you time to breathe, to process, to release what no longer serves you. And as the light reveals what was hidden, it also reveals your own strength, resilience, and capacity to heal. There is a deep peace that comes when you no longer have to wonder. When questions are answered, even difficult ones, the heart finds rest. You no longer feel the need to search for meaning in confusion because clarity has arrived. This clarity does not erase the past, but it changes how you carry it. It allows you to release what you cannot change and embrace what is now possible. It invites you to step into a new chapter with a lighter spirit. As the light continues to work, you may notice a shift within yourself. You become more trusting of your intuition, more confident in your perception, more grounded in your sense of self. You no longer doubt your feelings or minimize your experiences. You honor your journey, recognizing that every step, even the painful ones, has led you to greater awareness and growth. Revelation also creates space for forgiveness, not because what happened was acceptable, but because you are choosing to free yourself from the weight of carrying it. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is releasing the hold that the past has on your present. It is choosing peace over resentment, healing over bitterness, freedom over fear. And as you let go, you create room for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities to enter your life. Light does not only reveal what was hidden, it also illuminates what is ahead. It shows you the path forward, helping you see where to place your steps. It guides you gently, offering clarity and direction. You begin to feel more aligned, more purposeful, more connected to the unfolding of your life. You trust that what is meant for you will not remain in the shadows, but will come into view at the right time. There is a quiet strength that grows when you trust this process. You no longer feel the need to control every outcome or force every answer. You allow things to unfold naturally, knowing that what needs to be revealed will be revealed. This trust brings a sense of calm, a steady assurance that you are being guided, protected, and supported. As you continue to walk in this light, you may find that your heart feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your spirit feels renewed. You are no longer bound by what was hidden, no longer defined by what was done in secret. You are free to move forward, carrying with you the wisdom and clarity that have been revealed, stepping into a future shaped by truth, peace, and a gentle confidence that continues to grow within you. You do not fight alone, heaven fights for you, and this truth carries a quiet power that settles deep within the heart when you feel weary from standing against unseen pressure. There are moments when life feels like a constant struggle, when challenges rise one after another, and you begin to wonder how much strength you have left. You may feel surrounded by circumstances that seem larger than you, problems that appear too complex, and emotions that feel too heavy to carry. In those moments, it can feel as if you are standing on a battlefield without support, doing your best to remain steady while the world presses in from every side. Yet there is a presence that stands with you, even when you cannot see it. There is a support that moves quietly, arranging details, opening paths, and providing protection beyond what you could ever create on your own. This presence does not grow tired, does not become discouraged, does not lose sight of the greater picture. While you may feel small in the face of what you are confronting, you are never insignificant to the one who walks beside you. You are seen, known, and held, even in the moments when you feel most alone. When you recognize that you are not fighting alone, something within you begins to relax. The tension in your body softens. The weight on your mind lightens. The fear that once felt overwhelming begins to lose its grip. You realize that you do not have to carry every burden by yourself, that you do not have to solve every problem alone, that you do not have to face every challenge with your own strength. There is a quiet assurance that you are supported, guided, and protected. This awareness changes how you approach your days. You no longer wake up bracing for battle, expecting the worst. Instead, you begin to move with a sense of trust, knowing that whatever arises, you will not face it in isolation. You begin to listen more deeply to your inner guidance, to follow the gentle nudges that lead you toward peace and clarity. You begin to release the need to control every outcome, allowing yourself to be led by a wisdom greater than your own. There is a calm that comes when you stop trying to prove your strength and start trusting the strength that surrounds you. You no longer feel the need to defend yourself at every turn or justify your path to others. You rest in the knowledge that you are being supported in ways you cannot always see. This rest does not make you passive, it makes you resilient. It gives you the courage to move forward, even when the path is uncertain. As you continue to trust, you may notice subtle shifts in your life. Opportunities appear where there were obstacles, solutions emerge where there were questions. People enter your life at just the right moment, offering encouragement, guidance, or support. These moments are not coincidences. They are signs that you are not alone, that there is a greater movement at work, aligning things on your behalf. You may still face challenges, but now you face them with a different spirit. You are no longer driven by fear, but by faith. You are no longer overwhelmed by uncertainty, but grounded in trust. You understand that every experience, even the difficult ones, is part of a larger journey. This understanding brings a sense of peace that remains steady, even when circumstances change. When you feel tired, you allow yourself to rest. When you feel uncertain, you allow yourself to pause. When you feel afraid, you allow yourself to breathe and remember that you are not walking this path alone. This gentle practice of returning to trust becomes a source of strength, guiding you through each season of your life. Over time, you begin to see yourself differently. You recognize your own resilience, your own courage, your own capacity to grow. You honor the journey you have walked and the lessons you have learned. You no longer see yourself as someone who is constantly fighting, but as someone who is supported, guided, and held. This shift allows you to live with greater openness and compassion. You become more patient with yourself and others. You approach life with curiosity rather than fear. You trust that what is meant for you will come in its own time. And as you continue to walk forward, you carry with you a deep, steady awareness that you are never alone, that you are always supported, and that you are moving through life with a strength that is not solely your own. Psalm 35 is a legal prayer for vindication and protection. And when you allow this truth to settle into your heart, it brings a sense of calm strength that feels like a quiet shield around your spirit. There are moments when life feels unfair, when you know you have been misrepresented, attacked, or opposed without reason, and your heart longs for justice. In those moments, it is easy to feel exposed, vulnerable, and uncertain about what will happen next. Yet this psalm carries a deeper meaning, one that reminds you that you are not standing alone in your need for defense, and that there is an authority greater than any circumstance that stands on your behalf. A legal prayer is not a cry of desperation. It is a declaration of truth. It does not beg for attention. It stands on what has already been established. When you engage with Psalm 35, you are not asking for protection as if it might be granted or denied. You are aligning with a promise that already exists. This alignment brings a sense of order to the chaos, a structure to the uncertainty, a foundation to the fear. It allows you to rest in the knowledge that your case is known, your story is seen, and your life is being guided with wisdom and care. There is a quiet confidence that comes when you realize you do not have to argue for your own vindication. You do not have to explain every detail or prove your innocence to every voice that rises against you. There is a higher authority that understands the full picture, including the parts that have never been spoken aloud. This understanding allows you to release the burden of self-defense and trust that what is true will be made clear in time. As you reflect on this psalm, you may notice a shift in how you carry yourself. The tension in your body begins to ease. The heaviness in your thoughts starts to lift. You feel more grounded, more centered, more at peace. This is not because the situation has suddenly changed, but because your perspective has. You are no longer standing in fear. You are standing in trust. Protection is not always visible, but is always present. It may come through a sense of peace that guards your heart, a calm that steadies your mind, or a clarity that guides your choices. It may come through people who offer support, words that bring encouragement, or opportunities that open at just the right moment. These are all expressions of a care that surrounds you, even when you are not aware of it. Vindication does not always arrive in the way you expect. Sometimes it comes quietly, through understanding rather than applause, through restoration rather than recognition. It may come as an inner peace that no accusation can disturb, a confidence that no misunderstanding can shake. This form of vindication is deeply freeing because it is not dependent on external validation. It is rooted in a truth that remains steady regardless of circumstances. As you continue to trust this process, you may find that your heart becomes more open, more compassionate, more resilient. You begin to release the need to hold on to hurt or resentment. You allow yourself to heal, to move forward, to embrace new possibilities. You recognize that what has happened does not define you, and that what is ahead is filled with potential. This psalm becomes a companion on your journey, a reminder that you are supported, protected, and guided. It speaks to you in moments of doubt, offering reassurance. It comforts you in moments of fear, offering peace. It strengthens you in moments of weakness, offering hope. And as you carry these words within you, they begin to shape how you see yourself and the world around you. You move through life with a quieter spirit, a steadier heart, a deeper trust. You face challenges with grace, knowing that you are not alone. You welcome new seasons with openness, trusting that each one brings growth. And as you continue to walk forward, you remain anchored in the knowledge that you are held in a protection that does not fade, guided by a wisdom that does not fail, and supported by a presence that walks with you through every step of your journey. Every plan formed against you will collapse, and this truth settles gently into the heart like a quiet promise that does not need to shout to be powerful. There are seasons when it feels as though unseen forces are working against you, when obstacles appear at every turn, when progress feels delayed, not by chance but by resistance. In those moments, it is natural to feel discouraged, to question whether your efforts will ever be enough, to wonder if you are walking in the right direction. Yet beneath the surface of what you can see, there is a movement of protection and alignment that is far greater than any opposition you may face. Plans that are not rooted in truth cannot sustain themselves. They may appear strong for a time, but they carry within them the seeds of their own unraveling. What is built on deception, fear, or harm lacks the foundation needed to endure. You do not have to expose every scheme or defend yourself against every tactic. There is a quiet justice at work that gently dismantles what does not belong, restoring balance and clarity in ways that are often unexpected. When you trust this process, your heart begins to rest. The constant vigilance, the tension, the fear of being outmaneuvered starts to fade. You realize that you are not responsible for carrying the weight of every outcome. You are invited to focus on what you can nurture within yourself: peace, integrity, patience, and hope. These qualities become your anchor, keeping you steady even when circumstances feel uncertain. There is a subtle strength in choosing to remain calm when you sense opposition. It is not denial, it is trust. It is the decision to believe that what is meant for you cannot be taken away by hidden agendas or quiet resistance. This trust allows you to move forward with confidence, even when you cannot see the full picture. You begin to feel supported, guided, and protected, as if life itself is working to clear the path before you. As time passes, you may notice shifts that feel almost invisible at first. A conversation changes direction. An obstacle dissolves. An opportunity opens where there was once a barrier. These moments are not coincidences. They are signs of a deeper order unfolding. They remind you that you are not alone in your journey, and that what was working against you is losing its influence. You may still encounter challenges, but now you face them with a different spirit. You no longer feel the need to react from fear or defend yourself from every perceived threat. You remain grounded, trusting that what is not aligned with your highest good will naturally fall away. This grounding brings a sense of peace that stays with you, even when the world feels unpredictable. There is a freedom that comes from releasing the need to control every outcome. You allow yourself to be present, to breathe, to trust that each step is guided. You begin to see that even delays can serve a purpose, that even setbacks can lead to growth. This perspective transforms how you experience life, turning challenges into opportunities for reflection and renewal. As you continue to walk in this awareness, your heart grows lighter. You feel less burdened by what might go wrong and more open to what might go right. You become more attuned to moments of grace, to small signs of support, to gentle reminders that you are being cared for. These moments build a quiet confidence, strengthening your trust in the journey ahead. In this space of trust, you find the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path is not clear. You embrace uncertainty as part of the process, knowing that clarity will come in time. You remain open to new possibilities, allowing life to unfold naturally. And as you continue, you carry with you the deep, steady assurance that no plan formed against you has the power to define your future, because you are walking in a path guided by truth, protected by wisdom, and sustained by a peace that continues to grow within you. Your season of delay is turning into a season of victory. And this truth rests in the heart like a quiet sunrise after a long night. There are times when waiting feels heavier than any struggle, when you have done everything you know to do, yet the door remains closed, the answer remains distant, the breakthrough remains unseen. In those moments, the mind begins to question, the heart begins to tire, and hope feels fragile. But delay is not denial, and waiting is not wasted, their deeper purpose unfolding, even when you cannot yet see its shape. Seasons of delay often teach you how to trust beyond what is visible. They invite you to lean into patience, to grow in resilience, to discover strength you did not know you had. While it may feel as though nothing is happening, something is always taking place beneath the surface. Roots are growing. Foundations are forming. Clarity is being prepared. This unseen work is essential because it creates the stability needed to sustain what is coming. In the stillness of waiting, you begin to notice your inner world more clearly. You become aware of your fears, your hopes, your expectations. You learn what truly matters to you. You learn where you have been holding on to control and where you need to release. This self-awareness becomes a gift, guiding you toward a deeper sense of peace. You realize that your worth is not measured by how quickly things happen, but by how faithfully you continue to show up. There is a gentle transformation that occurs during seasons of delay. Your perspective begins to shift. You stop seeing waiting as a punishment and start seeing it as preparation. You recognize that timing has its own wisdom, that some things must align before they can unfold. This understanding brings a sense of calm, allowing you to breathe more deeply, to trust more fully, to rest in the knowledge that you are being guided. Victory does not always arrive with noise or fanfare. Sometimes it comes quietly, through a change of heart, a new opportunity, a moment of clarity. It may not look like what you imagined, but it will feel like peace. It will feel like alignment. It will feel like the natural next step in your journey. And when it arrives, you will realize that the waiting was not empty. It was shaping you for this moment. As you move through this transition, you may notice new energy within yourself. You feel more confident, more hopeful, more open to possibility. The heaviness that once weighed on you begins to lift. You start to see doors where you once saw walls. You begin to believe that good things are possible for you, even if you cannot yet see them clearly. This shift also changes how you relate to others. You become more compassionate, more understanding, more patient. You recognize that everyone is carrying their own story, their own waiting, their own dreams. This awareness deepens your connections, bringing a sense of unity and shared humanity. You no longer feel alone in your journey because you see that others are walking similar paths. As victory draws nearer, you may feel a sense of anticipation, a quiet excitement that something new is unfolding. You remain grounded, knowing that growth continues, that each season brings its own lessons. You embrace the present moment, trusting that it is preparing you for what lies ahead. You move forward with a steady heart, carrying the wisdom gained through waiting. You honor the journey that has brought you here, recognizing that every step has contributed to your growth. And as you continue, you hold on to the assurance that your season is changing, that new beginnings are emerging, and that you are stepping into a chapter filled with purpose, peace, and a gentle sense of victory that continues to unfold within you. God's defense brings peace, restoration, and open doors, and this truth feels like a quiet river flowing through the heart, steady and life-giving, even when the landscape around you has felt dry for a long time. There are moments when you have tried to hold everything together, when you have carried burdens that were never meant to rest on your shoulders, when you have fought battles in silence because you did not want to trouble anyone else with your pain. In those moments, the soul grows tired, not from effort alone, but from longing for relief, for reassurance, for a sense that you are not standing alone in the storm. Peace does not arrive through control. It arrives through surrender. It comes when you release the need to understand every detail and allow yourself to trust that there is a care surrounding you that is greater than your fear. This peace is gentle, not forced. It does not erase challenges, but it changes how you carry them. It becomes an inner stillness that remains even when the world around you feels uncertain. It is the quiet confidence that you are held, guided, and protected even when you cannot see the full picture. Restoration follows peace like dawn follows night. When the heart begins to rest, it starts to heal. Wounds that were hidden begin to soften. Memories that once caused pain begin to lose their power. You may not notice the change immediately, but slowly you feel lighter, your breath becomes deeper, your thoughts become clearer. You begin to recognize parts of yourself that you had forgotten, dreams that you had set aside, joys that had been buried under responsibility and worry. Restoration does not rush. It unfolds gently, honoring the pace of your healing. As restoration takes root, you begin to see yourself differently. You no longer define yourself by what you have lost or endured. You begin to see your resilience, your courage, your capacity to grow. You honor your journey, recognizing that every step, even the painful ones, has shaped you into who you are becoming. This self-compassion becomes a foundation, supporting you as you move forward with greater confidence and openness. Open doors often appear when you least expect them. They may come through a new opportunity, a meaningful connection, or a moment of clarity that shifts your direction. These doors are not random, they are aligned with the growth you have experienced. They invite you to step into new spaces, to explore new possibilities, to trust that you are ready for what lies ahead. You may feel both excitement and hesitation, but the peace within you guides your steps, reminding you that you are supported. There is a harmony that emerges when peace, restoration, and opportunity come together. You feel more connected to yourself, more present in your life, more open to what is unfolding. You move with intention rather than fear, with hope rather than doubt. You begin to trust the rhythm of your journey, knowing that each season brings its own gifts. This harmony extends to your relationships. You become more patient, more understanding, more compassionate. You listen more deeply, speak more gently, and connect more authentically. You recognize that everyone is navigating their own challenges, and this awareness fosters empathy. Your presence becomes a source of calm, a reminder that peace is possible even in the midst of change. As you continue to walk in this awareness, you may notice a renewed sense of purpose. You feel drawn toward what feels meaningful and aligned. You let go of what no longer serves you, creating space for new experiences to enter. This clarity brings a sense of direction, guiding you toward choices that reflect who you truly are. There is a quiet joy that grows when you trust this process. It is not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in the knowledge that you are supported and guided. This joy becomes a steady companion, reminding you to savor simple moments, to celebrate small victories, to appreciate the beauty of the present. And as you move forward, you carry with you the assurance that you are not alone. You are surrounded by a care that leads you gently, restores you deeply, and opens doors in perfect timing. You walk with a steady heart, a peaceful mind, and an open spirit, ready to embrace the unfolding of your journey, trusting that each step is guided by love, wisdom, and a presence that remains with you always. As we come to the end of this moment, allow your heart to rest in the stillness that has been created. You do not need to rush back into the noise of the world. Let what you have heard settle gently within you. Like a quiet promise that continues to breathe life into your spirit, you have taken time to pause, to listen, to open yourself to something deeper. That alone is a powerful step. Even if you do not yet see the full picture, trust that something meaningful has begun to shift within you, guiding you toward peace and clarity. Remember that you are not defined by what you have faced or what you are waiting for. You are defined by the strength you carry, the hope you nurture, and the courage you show by continuing forward. Each day offers you a new opportunity to walk in that truth. There will be moments when doubts try to return, when old fears whisper again. When they do, return to the calm you feel now. Let it remind you that you are supported, that you are guided, and that you are never alone on this journey. Allow gratitude to become part of your daily rhythm. Even small moments of thankfulness can shift your perspective and open your heart to the goodness that surrounds you. Gratitude keeps you grounded and aware of the beauty that exists even in simple things. Carry with you the awareness that your story is still unfolding. What lies ahead holds possibilities you may not yet imagine. Trust that each step, even the uncertain ones, is leading you toward growth and renewal. Be gentle with yourself as you move forward. You are learning, growing, and becoming more aware with each experience. There is no need to rush or compare your journey to anyone else's. Stay open to moments of connection, inspiration, and quiet joy. These moments are reminders that life is always offering you something new, something meaningful, something that speaks to your heart. When challenges arise, face them with the same calm you feel now. Let peace guide your responses and trust shape your choices. You are stronger and more capable than you realize. And as you continue on your path, hold this truth close. You are moving toward a life filled with purpose, peace, and hope, one step at a time, guided by a presence that walks with you through every season